Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between two pretty unknown players, or at least unknown in the international sense. This game was taken from the North American Battle.net servers. This is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg here on Blistering's Hand, BlackBeard versus Destiny. Now Destiny is trying to come up through the ranks of the of the American servers, and we'll see how he does in this particular matchup. He does also have a live stream, and I will create a link to it for you guys in the description of this video, so you guys can go ahead and check out his live stream and watch his games live, see how he does. BlackBeard spawning as the red Zerg on the south side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Destiny on the north side of the map as the blue Zerg. So Zerg versus Zerg, one of those matchups I generally try to avoid, but this was pretty highly rated for me to cast by a couple clan leader or two. So I said, you know what, why don't I go ahead and take a look at this game. Hopefully it will not disappoint and maybe be on par with the level of Korean Zerg versus Zerg, where it's very micro intensive, a lot of Zergling battles, a lot of Baneling battles, and a lot of back and forth action. We now see that this drone is making its way across the map, so BlackBeard will be able to get out a little bit of an earlier scout compared to Destiny. Destiny, doing the standard opening with these overlords, is trying to set them up in the middle of the field so that he has decent positioning and decent vision, knowing if there are any Zerglings that are trying to make their way out. BlackBeard opting for a 14 hatchery instead of an early spawning pool, and now Destiny going for the spawning pool instead. And now you can see that this one drone from BlackBeard was able to steal some minerals, and now perhaps check down over here, sees that there is not a hatchery, and come back up for more. Interestingly enough, coming in from Destiny though, Destiny is not getting an extractor, so it does not look like he will be able to get metabolic boost anytime soon. He will have a little bit more, or he will have more Zerglings, and now out moves a drone. The drone does have a little bit of a head start compared to BlackBeard, but will he have enough minerals in order to set up that hatchery? It doesn't look like it. No, that drone is just going out to scout. So that was a scouting drone there, and now we see double extractors coming into play. This is highly unorthodox play coming in from Destiny, going into a double extractor build. And I am completely baffled and confused, especially with the spawning pool in this location. The drones will be forced to, maybe you need 3 drones on cast if the spawning pool is right there, and now a spine crawler coming into play as well. So this is very odd play, and now in comes this drone. Is the drone going to perhaps try to grow up to be a spine crawler? That would be very interesting if he hangs over right by the edge and then grows up to be a spine crawler and then makes its way back over. That would have worked out fairly well for him if he had done that, but it doesn't seem that that is the case. We now see a lot of gas being mined by Destiny, and this is a very strange build. Destiny now getting about 200 gas every minute, and 200 gas every minute is a large amount of gas, especially when you consider that he doesn't have that many drones on minerals, only 12, and now going into tech tier 2, so he's going into fast Mutalisk. He's going to try to get as much as he can, and now BlackBeard will be forced to get as many queens as possible in order to deal with those Mutalisks. He could be going for a Hydralisk, but I don't think that's the case. Mutalisk probably the best way to go. No, actually, he is going to go for Roach Hydra. Alright, so Roach Hydra off of one base play, and now getting an evolution chamber as well. This is just all over the place. Perhaps it is just movement speed roaches that he's looking for. If that's really what he's looking for, he should try to stop mining any additional gas at this time, as he doesn't need that much gas in order to go movement speed roaches. He's already sitting on a large cache, about 200 of it. And now if he also wants a level 1 weapons upgrade, I guess he can continue to mine more gas as well. Back here, Zergling is now going to try to run up that ramp. BlackBeard looking to be in a very strong position, has a very strong economy, and now getting roaches of his own. So we do see a roach war and level 1 missile upgrades now being researched, and the glial reconstitution, which allows those roaches to move faster than a stalker. Very nice upgrades, especially against a Zerg versus Zerg, where those roaches almost move as fast as a Zergling, an upgraded Zergling on creep. Sorry, an upgraded Zergling off of creep is the same speed as a Roach on creep. I think it's like 3.9 versus 4.7. But once you get into that very high speed, an additional 0.1 doesn't really matter just because of the comparisons between those two numbers. Destiny is still getting a lot of, or having those overlords in the middle of the field, no creep tumors down. BlackBeard sitting on a very strong economic lead and a very strong harvester count. Not exactly sure what Destiny can do. He is going for Burrow though. So if he gets Burrow, he will be able to force whack-a-mole play against BlackBeard, and especially if BlackBeard, no, he is teching the tier 2, he will be able to get Overseers. But it should still be fairly difficult, especially with those roaches. Roaches now taking down their own back door in order to be able to deploy to the field even more quickly, instead of forcing to run around this way, just running out and down this back door and then back up this back door here. So he is now converting his back door to a front door and should be able to get a lot of damage. More roaches still coming in. Destiny now starting to just macro up a ton of roaches. Taking a look at the production tab, yeah, 4 roaches being trained up by Destiny, 6 roaches being trained up by BlackBeard. So BlackBeard's going to have a lot of roaches, but Destiny going to get that level 1 weapons upgrade, and that should make a very, very large difference. The tunneling claws has yet to be researched, and now that with that level 1 missile upgrades completed, those roaches are going to be dealing about, 11% more damage. Out moves one queen. That queen, doesn't stand a chance. Off of creep, down it goes, and now those roaches are on the move. The roaches do have that movement speed upgrade, yes, and now going to move very, very quickly on creep, and now in comes this fight here. There is also an Overseer in the air, so BlackBeard, already getting that Overseer, knows that perhaps Destiny does have Burrow. So by knowing that Destiny has Burrow, he is not going to really fall prey or fall victim to the whack-a-mole play, but the roaches now trying to take down these rocks over here, and Destiny having a smaller army at this stage, only 1,200 in roaches compared to 1725. So a much larger army over here, and now we also see this Overseer in the air. I believe the Overseer does count towards the army. It is an observer and detector. And now with those rocks being taken down, a couple roaches going to walk up that ramp, check out that back door, and now perhaps try to snipe in some damage. But in comes some more roaches by BlackBeard. BlackBeard going to get some damage onto Destiny's roaches. Roaches now trying to run around. Will be able to get some damage onto some of those drones, and drones now falling. But now in comes a major push over here into the main base. Down goes another queen. So 2 queens have been taken down. Destiny doing a great job of just taking down and dealing damage where his opponent's units are not. Roaches now coming in. However, the sheer number of roaches here, and now Destiny in a very, very strong position as he has decent flank, able to pick off many of those roaches as they are coming in a single file line. And now roaches trying to run away. Roaches look like they may be able to pull away as BlackBeard doesn't have that movement speed. Roaches now turning around, 1 roach from BlackBeard, giving chase a little bit, and now gonna get, just gonna get sniped down so easily. Wait, why isn't Destiny turning around to take down that roach? Okay, anyways, roaches now coming back into the natural expansion over here. It looks as though drones are being transferred in, as there's roaches over here as well. So roaches doing a great job. A smaller army of roaches being running in between 2 locations, as the roaches were able to take down the hatchery here. So with that backdoor location open, Destiny is able to constantly move his army around, and even though BlackBeard has the larger army and has the stronger economic advantage throughout most of this game, he's just simply unable to catch up. We do now see a large amount of roaches here, and now roaches fighting back and forth. This is going to be a problem, especially as there are a lot of roaches coming around this corner here. Zerglings now coming in as well. BlackBeard just trying to give chase against these roaches. Destiny needs to pull away, perhaps get on creep and start burrowing, get some transfusions, and now we're going to see mass spine crawlers coming online as well. Destiny no longer having that movement speed advantage. BlackBeard coming up the ramp now, and with a very, very large army, should be able to take this. But there are some spine crawlers coming into play. Roaches now trying to come in. Roaches battling back and forth. BlackBeard now coming in, and now there's 2 spine crawlers able to start impaling them as well. BlackBeard taking a lot of damage, and in comes that Burrow. So that Burrow, because we didn't see any Overseers in over here, so Destiny now able to get wait for those spine crawlers to deal some damage, and now Destiny having almost evening the army sizes as those roaches are trying to run away, and BlackBeard in full retreat, losing many of his roaches, and that is a problem, losing so many roaches so easily there. We now see another hatchery being placed down by BlackBeard. BlackBeard trying to get up a stronger economy, and somehow Destiny is able to do this all off of 1 base play and still get a decent advantage so far. Army-wise, 1575 against 1200 now. Destiny's with those 1-0 roaches, and now getting the 2-0 upgrades are going to be able to even deal even more damage. The hatchery not going to get canceled in time, and now in come the roaches. The roaches are in a better position. Back roaches unable to do any firing as they are stuck on that ramp. It looks like, those roaches are trying to walk down that ramp, unable to. No creep on that ramp, so those roaches were not able to just catch up and file down that ramp very, very easily. And now that we're getting the level 2 weapons upgrade, that level 2 weapon upgrade going to be critical. And now we see Destiny also getting a little bit of a cute play with one spine crawler. I do not think that was intentional. I think that was completely on accident, bringing over a drone in part of his army. Roach is now trying to fight around back and forth. Will be able to pull back one very, very low hit point. Roach down to 3 hit points. And now in comes the Spine Crawler. So the Spine Crawler is online, getting some damage. That Impaler Tentacle with a range of 7, getting a lot of damage there. And now one poor Roach getting caught out of position again. The sheer number of losses, you can see the losses of BlackBeard are so high at this stage. Almost, yeah, double the losses of Destiny. That is going to be really, really bad, especially as Destiny is now getting an even-sized army and about to get the level 2 missile upgrade attacks. BlackBeard just running around with those roaches, taking so much damage. The major force of this army sitting over here, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter, as now Destiny getting that, or almost, I've been saying 2-0 upgrades almost for the past, 30 seconds. Finally, it will come online. There we go. Roach is now 2-0, dealing 20 damage per attack, and Destiny should just be able to win with superior forces and superior numbers here. Queen's not trying to pull back, and there's the GG from BlackBeard. BlackBeard opting to get a fast hatchery, had the stronger game, and had the stronger army and stronger income for quite a while. So BlackBeard, with the stronger army and the stronger income, I thought he would be able to press that advantage and take the game from Destiny. But Destiny, with the superior tactics, constantly fighting where BlackBeard wasn't. And when BlackBeard's army is split in half, Destiny's army was just able to pick it apart, especially when BlackBeard's army was in a single file line. Roaches could just attack roaches, that swarm of roaches from Destiny could attack one roach, take it down, and then a new roach would just pop up waiting to get killed. Yeah, really, really well played. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this unconventional Zerg versus Zerg here on Blistering Sands. One base actually beating 2 base just because of the sheer amount of losses. I think if you take a look at the spending was actually probably... Yeah, the spending was higher, much more for BlackBeard in terms of economy and army, just not as much in tech. And that level 2 missile upgrades towards the end really started to make that difference. It really started to shine. Yeah, thanks for watching once again.